Do you ever notice how life just ain't it all how it seems in the movies? You know that scene in The Notebook where the two characters are out in the rain, they're having this really dramatic fight, and then all of a sudden they start kissing and it's beautiful and the rain is pouring down and so much sexual tension and all this stuff. Have you ever kissed someone actually in the rain? Have you been outside in the rain? It's not that romantic. I mean, your clothes are sticking on you and you're cold and you're wet and you kind of need to breathe while you're kissing someone. So if there's water pouring down your face and also your mouth is covered by someone else's mouth, and it's extra difficult to make any of that work. But here's the thing. Filmmakers have a way of making things that in regular life don't feel or aren't particularly exciting or amazing or romantic or special look special. When we surround ourselves with all of this content that is so overly romanticized, that makes things seem so special and beautiful and oversaturated, and then we experience those things in real life, it makes it so much more difficult to be grateful for what we see, because our expectations in our mind, because of the content we consume, is so far outside of what reality is. And this problem can apply to pretty much all aspects of our lives. So the question becomes, what do filmmakers do that helps them make things romantic? For me, the answer is clear. It's atmosphere. They manage to create atmosphere incredibly well by adding the right lighting and the right sound, music in the background, beautiful costumes and props, and the right background and landscape and set design. So many tiny details go into making a movie or even a 20-second commercial get across a specific message and a specific feeling. So it's no wonder that when we go to live our day-to-day lives, we don't get that same feeling from the things that we're doing, because we haven't set up all of those details. And to be honest, we're probably not even paying attention to them if we did. But have no fear. We can live our life like a movie. We can romanticize the lives that we have right now, and we can do it relatively easily by taking some hacks and tips from filmmakers and applying them to our day-to-day lives. So the first thing that we can do is set the mood by incorporating our 5 senses. The mood you might want to set could be different depending on what you're going for. You know, maybe you want to feel very happy, or maybe you even want to embrace some sadness or melodrama. Maybe you want to be excited or calm and relaxed. By incorporating different things that hit on all 5 of our senses, we really create a well-rounded atmosphere, and it really immerses us into the moment, into the feeling. So starting with touch, can we maybe wear clothes that are very soft and comfortable, that we like the fabrics of? Maybe they're luxurious like a velvet, or light and airy like linen. Can we cuddle with a soft, plushy blanket to give us some of those relaxing vibes? If we're outside and we're sitting in the grass, can we touch the blades of grass to really get a feeling for where we are and ground ourselves in the present moment? For taste, can we add some type of flavor to what we're doing? Are we chewing gum? Are we eating food? Are we drinking a particular drink? If we're making our coffee in the morning and we want it to feel extra special, maybe we'll add some cream and sugar when we would normally just drink it black. If we want to make ourselves feel really loved and taken care of and special, maybe we'll order our favorite takeout that we know we love the flavors of and reminds us of the comfort of our childhood. Then of course there's smell, which is so very important, and we can achieve it by cooking food, but we can also achieve it in other ways, like lighting a candle, or having some essential oils in an oil diffuser, or lighting an incense, or wearing perfume, or even just paying attention to the smells that are around us. I think smell is a sense that we often neglect, but There's always something to smell there. You just kind of have to look for it. So if you're outside, can you smell the crisp, cool air? If it's about to rain, can you smell the thunderstorm as it's approaching? Can you smell the scent of freshly cut grass? Of course, there's sight as well. You can make sure that your space is clean and tidy if you want to create a relaxing atmosphere. You can make sure that there isn't very harsh lighting, or that you have the blinds open so the sun is coming into your bedroom and you have this pool of natural light that really warms up the room and creates a more welcoming atmosphere. You could dim the lights or change the lights to a different color if you have smart light bulbs. You can turn fairy lights on if you have those scattered around your house. Anything to add some sort of visual interest that's a little bit different, a little bit special. And finally, we have sound. Sound is another sense that we often neglect. I think we focus so much on what we see, but what we hear, we often just naturally tune out. It's interesting because people are really loving ASMR right now, and all ASMR are just sounds of daily life. So maybe the next time you're cooking, you can slow down and just listen to the sound of chopping your vegetables before you put them in the pan. Listen to the sound of them frying when they hit the frying pan. Listen to the sound of the spatula scraping against the pan as you're moving your food around. You don't have to get that ASMR vibe just by watching a YouTube video. You can get that at home by doing your everyday daily tasks. All you have to do is pay attention to it. You can, of course, listen to music, movies, commercials. They always have soundtracks that really add to the mood, create an atmosphere. If you've ever watched a movie or a commercial silent, you'll know that it has a completely different vibe and feeling than it does when you add some music on in the background. And you can also just listen to the sounds around you. You can make an effort to incorporate your 5 senses into any day-to-day activity. Something I really like to do is make my breakfast special, even though I don't really like to cook in the morning. But I will put my breakfast together with some flavors that I really love, and then I'll put it on a nice plate and arrange it aesthetically, even though nobody's going to be looking at it except for me, because I enjoy that. I like it to feel fancy. I like to feel special. I like to take care of myself. Then I usually go and I find a sunny place to sit and really enjoy the feeling of the sun on my body and the warmth that it gives me. I make an effort to really absorb the smell of whatever it is that I'm about to eat and to really savor the flavor as I'm biting into it. The other day I made homemade granola, and then I used that granola to make homemade granola bars, and I added chocolate chips to them, which was just like so decadent and delicious. I love chocolate, and the flavor and the scent of all the nuts and the oats and the chocolate combined. And then I set myself up in front of a window where I could look outside and enjoy nature and listen to the birds. And suddenly I had this immersive experience where I was paying attention to all 5 of my senses and really feeling like I was living in the present moment and having a really special romantic breakfast right here in my bedroom where I spend all of my time unromantically most of the time, eating something that's really basic, just granola bars. Another thing you can do is to act like a kid again. As adults, we so often overthink things and worry about what other people will think about us. And we have so many inhibitions and we find it really difficult to let them go. But as kids, most of us didn't even consider what other people thought about us before doing something. We just acted naturally. We did what we wanted to do, what felt right for us, and there is a sense of relaxation and letting go and having that feeling. I mean, when was the last time you went out during a thunderstorm and played in the rain? I know that I used to love doing that as a kid. I would hop around in puddles all the time. I would walk home from school and walk through the puddle on purpose and like look up at the sky and just let myself get covered in pouring rain because it was fun. So it's absolutely pouring outside, and I just had this thought that I wanna go outside and just like run around and play in the rain. I haven't done this in years, like since I was a little kid, but rain is one of my favorite types of weather. I just think it's like so incredible. Just when I break down in my brain the fact that there is literal water falling from the sky, it just seems like this crazy miracle. And it was such a nice warm day today, and I don't know, I'm probably going to freeze my ass off, but I am going to try it. So here we go. Oh my God, there's a rainbow! Wow, look at it. So beautiful.
I don't wanna be just another cookie cutter. I know I will find my canvas. Let me have this. Struggle to find a blank page in a book with your name on the top of it. Erasing parts that we hate, leaving behind a collage of words and thoughts in it. Take more pictures, then you'll see what made you unsure. This scene's not mine. I missed an entrance. I'm with my
That was so much fun. It's crazy how we let what other people think of us affect the way that we act so often when it really doesn't matter. Like even being out there, I just wanted to kind of like let loose and do whatever it is that I wanted to do. Dance and play and splash. There were so many cars driving by that the thought kept coming to me like, maybe I shouldn't do this. People are watching. And I just had to tell myself like, who cares? This is your life. Do what you want to do. If dancing outside in the rain sounds pleasant to you, then make it happen. Unfortunately, as soon as I got out there, the rain started to slow down, so I didn't get completely soaking wet, but I definitely did have a good time just playing in the rain. Now I'm cold though, so I'm gonna go take a warm shower, and I think I'll do this next time it rains too. When was the last time your favorite song came on the radio, or you were listening to your favorite playlist and you had the urge to get up and like do a little dance? Maybe you were tapping your foot at your desk or something, but you didn't fully let yourself go. Why not just get up and do some twirls around your room, jump around, sing along to the song, sing along loudly and badly, have some fun. Or even just take a moment to be loud. As little kids, we don't care what our volume is, we don't care what our decibel is. And as adults, I feel like we are so concerned with bothering others or worrying about what others might think that we don't climb to the top of a mountain and yell. I did this at the park the other day and I had like so much anxiety. I was like, oh my God, someone's gonna come, they're gonna hear me, they're gonna see me. Who cares? Just let it go, have fun, because overthinking everything strips the romance out of the things that we do in our day-to-day lives. We can also change our perspectives to focus more on gratitude and thinking about things that maybe we would normally ignore or things that we take for granted. The next time you're going for a walk, literally stop and smell the roses. There's a reason that that saying exists. It's because we normally don't. Listen to the birds outside. Look for animals. Look for squirrels. If you're at a stream or a creek, look and see if there are any fish in the water, or crayfish, or turtles, or ducks, and appreciate those things when you do see them. When was the last time you sat under a tree and looked up through the branches? I did this for the first time the other day, and trees look so different from below. It's pretty amazing, actually. And just doing that one simple thing gave me a whole new appreciation for trees and the sky and the world in general. And it got me starting to think about animals and their perspective on the world and what things look like to them. And it just removes you from your own personal problems, from the stresses of life, and helps you romanticize the world a bit. Maybe let your imagination out. There is so much beauty around us that we just don't notice, that we choose to ignore. I was walking through my neighborhood the other day, which, you know, I guess it's a nice neighborhood, but it's not particularly beautiful or anything. And I was just walking through my neighborhood, and I walked by this tree, and I happened to look over, and I noticed that there were little baby pine cones growing on the tree. I cannot tell you how many times I've walked past trees and not even noticed that they flower or that they have buds growing on them. I didn't even know what a baby pine cone looked like, but they're like so small, and they grow, and like a year from now they're gonna be huge and brown, and it just is so incredible to see that the world exists even when I'm not paying attention to it. So if I take a moment to step back and look at what's happening all around me, things just feel so much more special, so much more alive, so much more romantic. You can also just make an effort to enjoy the process. Do things with no judgment. Do things not caring what the end result will be. Do things with the intention of enjoying each step to get to the final result, with the final result not being the most important aspect of what you're doing. And you can make the process of something that you don't really enjoy doing more enjoyable. I mean, I don't particularly like doing laundry. I also don't really like washing the dishes. But if I put on my favorite podcast or a really good song or a movie and light a candle and have some snacks off to the side in case I need a little munchie to help me out, and I'm listening to the sounds of whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm really trying to focus, be in the present moment, washing the dishes and folding my laundry actually isn't that much of a chore and can actually be kind of fun, strangely enough. One of my favorite ways to do this actually is with cooking. I am a terrible cook. In fact, you can learn more about that up here. But I lately have really been enjoying trying new recipes and just trying to expand my cooking repertoire. And as long as the recipe is simple enough that I don't get overwhelmed, it's fun to do something different. The other day I made scallion pancakes because I had all these scallions left over and I didn't know what to do with them, and I love scallion pancakes. And I'm gonna be honest, they weren't like the best scallion pancakes ever, but the whole idea of like kneading the dough and letting it sit and pouring out the flour and getting my hands dirty and sticky and trying this new technique where you put the scallions in and you roll it up like a cinnamon bun and then frying them in the pan. It was like a 2-hour-long process, but I really enjoyed the process, and I got to enjoy the fruits of my labor at the end and eat some scallion pancakes, which they weren't the best, but they weren't terrible either. And yeah, the whole thing was really special. I love making things from scratch like that because you just appreciate so much more all of the effort and the hard work that goes into the food you buy. I mean, you get jam from the store and it costs like $1, or you can try to make jam at home and you realize like, wow. I mean, it's not like the hardest thing to do in the world, but it's not easy either, even though it's really cheap. Same thing with like peanut butter or powdered sugar or all these other things that I oftentimes make at home. Because I can make them, when I eat them, I have so much more appreciation for how much work went into them, and it feels so much more special to eat food that you have made from scratch, even if it was a simple process to make it. Definitely bonus points if you take something that you already love and then further romanticize it. Like, I absolutely love watching movies. So one of my favorite things to do for like a self-care night is to sit down with one of my favorite movies, put on some really comfy pajamas, grab my cozy blanket, light a candle, get a nice drink, some snacks, put some lights up, like my little twinkly lights in the background, and then just have like a really sweet, beautiful night where I'm enjoying every moment and feeling totally immersed in the atmosphere of coziness that I've created for myself. Because the thing is, overall, romanticizing your life is very simple. All it requires is focusing in on the details and really amplifying them. Slow down, pay attention to the present moment, really focus on the little things that you would otherwise ignore or not notice. Practice gratefulness, practice mindfulness. And I totally get it. It's like, this sounds a little bit spiritual. It sounds a little bit like too connected maybe to the earth and the universe and like woo woo up in this place. I'm trying to say bitch, but I don't want to say bitch. But I said it anyway, so there we go. So if you're feeling like you want to do something like this, but it's a little overwhelming, you can start small with things that you already do. Start by lighting a candle on your desk while you're working from home. Or when you make your coffee in the morning and you take that first sip, be intentional about it. Really try to savor the moment, savor the flavor. If you're driving down the highway and you're listening to music and your favorite song comes on, turn the music up and sing really loud at the top of your lungs. Enjoy the moment. Live in the present. After a while, you'll start adding one thing here, one thing there, a lot of little things throughout your day that make your day feel much more romantic. And all you have to do is pay attention to how you're feeling in those little moments and carry that feeling with you throughout the day. That romantic, special feeling, I promise you, will inspire you throughout the rest of the day. It will make you a happier, kinder, more grateful person, and will overall just help you appreciate life and the things that you have a lot more.